On today's Town Hall agenda, we have shoutouts, important upcoming dates and reminders, a student work spotlight on Women's History Month projects from the 7th grade, and Rochelle and Renantha's COVID-19 Day of Remembrance poem. Stay tuned. Shout out to Rochelle, Joseph, and Renantha Wishart, who took part in the Mayor's COVID-19 Memorial this past week. You'll get to see their part of that presentation that was shared with the world at the end of today's video. Shout out to our UN junior ambassadors who participated in a virtual UN tour this week and who are briefing with the UN expert today, possibly right now. Shout out to Ms. Guito for all of her work with the Junior Ambassadors Program and making these events happen. Shout out to Emmanuel Sarfo and Renantha Wishart, whose Artemis Moonpod essays won them and their peers an opportunity to meet with an astronaut next week. Thank you, Ms. Jennings, for supporting them in the contest. Shout out to all of the 6th grade students who have signed up to take the BEAM Admissions Challenge. For those of you who are unfamiliar with BEAM, it is a math program which challenges students to push themselves to the limits of their math knowledge and really stretch themselves and challenge themselves. So we appreciate the students that are taking risk and willing to try something new. And lastly, shout out to BC teachers who are also taking risks and trying things new while they're using their common planning time to share not only their resources, but their learning with one another and the things that they are learning about remote and blended instruction. And we'd like to give a very special happy birthday shout out to Charles Brown Banks, Kayla Griffith, Jonathan Howell, Cameron Leach, Jelani Semper, Tyler Thomas, and Miss Ocha Solomon. Happy birthday, everyone! Some important upcoming dates to keep in mind. Every Friday, 5th period, we have our No One Eats Alone lunch. Today is our superhero theme. There's going to be a superhero Kahoot. I'm sure everyone's going to throw down, so please come, show up, have some fun, build some community with us. We appreciate everyone who does come. We have a pretty good time. Senior hoodies, 8th grade students, listen up. This is for you. We have the hoodies to distribute to you. You should have already received an email, or your parents should have already received an email regarding pickup for these hoodies. If you are fully remote, if you are an 8th grade student in 821, 822, 823, or 827, and you may come pick these hoodies up Saturday, March 20th. That's this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. in the schoolyard. And Ms. Petrata and Ms. Mapp will be there to distribute hoodies to students who are fully remote. 8th graders, if you are in blended learning, please do not come on Saturday. Please come to school on Monday when you were supposed to come to school, and we'll distribute your hoodies then. We're asking that you come separately so that we can limit the number of people that are coming to the building at the same time. As a reminder, after next week, we have spring recess from March 29th to April 2nd. Okay, we are asking that everyone make sure that you are getting online for your live instruction every single day if you are working remotely, and if you are if you're in blended learning and you're supposed to be attending school in person, that you are coming to school every day that you have instruction, which is Monday through Thursday when the building is open. Okay, once again, if you are in blended learning, you are expected to be in the building Monday through Thursday. You cannot accrue attendance by sitting at home. The next and last interim assessment for the District 18 math test is on Tuesday, April 14th. Students, it's really important that we are prepared for this, and the way to do that is by coming to your classes, both your core math classes and your non-core math classes where you get the reteach information. So please make sure that you are prepared for this assessment. It is the last one that the district is looking at in terms of your growth between the first and second assessment, and they're looking very carefully at each individual student and how you are growing. As a reminder that everything that we do this year contributes to our understanding of how you are doing academically. Your weekly portfolio tests or what your report card grades are based off of. We can also look at other data sources like this district math assessment to see if you are ready for the next grade. So please prove that you are ready to move on and that you've mastered the skills that you need to have mastered by doing well on this test, by taking it seriously and taking it on time. Lastly, I just want to give people a heads up. We got some news this week about state assessments. So As of right now, state assessments are moving forward. We will be coming out with more information on that in the coming weeks. But just putting that out there on your radar, because that window for starting these state tests will be coming up shortly. The first assessment begins the week of April 19th. But again, we will come out with more information about that in the near future. Report cards for the second marking period are in the My Student NYC Schools account. All parents should have access to that with their email. If you do not have access to that and you need assistance, please email Mr. Yaya at yseifela@schools.nyc.gov and he can help you with that account. You can also call the school and ask for Mr. Seifela or Mr. Yaya and he will help you out with that account. If on that report card you are receiving annex codes in any marking period, first or second, it is imperative that you resolve those codes. Those codes mean that you did not get a grade and you did not earn credit for that course. So if you did some work but not enough work to get credit in that course, it's like you weren't there at all. Okay? You need to make sure that you've made up those weekly portfolio tasks that you are missing so that you can resolve that NX code, because without resolving it, you won't be promoted to the next grade. It's saying that you haven't mastered what you need to master in the current grade. Okay? If you need assistance with that, you can come to Saturday Academy. All students who had annex codes on their report card should have received an invitation to Saturday Academy. The permission slip is in Operoo, and parents can complete that there to sign you up. There are two sessions. There's a 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. session, and there's 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. session. The links for that Zoom meeting are sent out to students that are signed up via Operoo. They're also posted in the grade-wide Google Classroom in the class of 2021, 2022, and 2023 Google Classroom. So please make sure that you come to that, you come on time. The structure of that is you come into the meeting and then you're sent into a breakout room where you can work one-on-one or in a small group of teachers to resolve those annex codes and make up that work that you need to make up. March is Women's History Month. To kick us off, I found a video from the WISE channel, the citation is there, called Why Do We Celebrate Women's History Month? It is short and sweet, and after that we're going to get to hear about some famous, or maybe need to be more famous women from history that our 7th graders have put together information and presentations on for us.
The WISE channel celebrates her story, women who did amazing things. You may be wondering why we celebrate women's history. Well, one reason is because most of the time, history is really his story. Over the years, much of history has been written by men, about men, and for men. In fact, about half the people in the world are women. But at the moment, less than 1% of written history is about women. That's a big difference. But it makes sense because in many subjects, we learn more about the accomplishments of men than women. In American history,
the Founding Fathers. These men built and created America.
The Founding Fathers are important, but what about the Founding Mothers, who also helped create and build America? Inventors?
The Wright brothers. These men invented the first successful airplane.
Yes, but what about the great inventions made by women? Civil rights?
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. These men led the civil rights movement.
But hundreds of women also led the way. This picture of America is his story, but his story is not the whole story. For every history-making man, there is at least one history-making woman. That's why it's important to also learn her story. In March of 1982, America celebrated the first Women's History Week, which later became Women's History Month, a time to celebrate the amazing things women have done and continue to do in America. Learning about and celebrating these women all year long helps us to see the whole story of history. It shows girls and boys that women are just as strong, smart, and brave as men. It also reminds us, once we add her story to his story, together we can learn our story.
The 7th grade ELA students completed Women's History Month presentations this past week. So without further ado, here's Sinai Alcindor, Nathaniel Allison, Nazib Amin, Samara Kador, Nicholas Carew, Devin Chalmers, Alexander Dean, Shazara Khan, Hakima Noel, Ahmed Taha, Mia Triumphel, and Nyron White to tell you a little bit about 12 women you should know about. Here are some clips from their presentations.
She established her own private practice in Brooklyn, which she ran from 1870 to 1895. She also co-founded the Brooklyn Women's Homeopathic Hospital and Dispensary during the same time span. Susan completed postgraduate education at the Long Island Medical College in Brooklyn from 1887 to 1888. Practiced at the Brooklyn Home for Aged People of Color, where she also served as a board member from 1892 to 1895. She then practiced at the New York Medical College and Hospital for Women in Manhattan from 1892 to 1896. Susan specialized in parental care and childhood diseases and gave papers on both these topics. In 1898, Dr. McKinney Stewart was hired by Wilberforce University in Ohio as a resident physician and faculty member to teach health and nutrition. More women should contribute to the STEAM department so they can know anything is possible. Susan's actions have inspired me a lot because she was from Brooklyn too, and if she achieved all that important stuff in a time where it was even harder to be considered important in the medical field as a woman, I can do something great too.
She was born to do this. In 1964, she earned a seat in the New York State Assembly, and in 1968, she became the first Black woman elected to the U.S. Congress. Her greatest accomplishments. What were some of her achievements? Shirley Chisholm achieved many things throughout her life. Chisholm was a teacher, director of the Hamilton-Madison Child Care Center, educational consultant, and Chisholm became the first African American to earn election to Congress. People made a park in honor of her. Over the summer, I had an opportunity to visit the park and learn more about Shirley Chisholm. You don't make progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas. Shirley Chisholm. What adversity did she face and overcome? Shirley Chisholm had to overcome racial injustice, segregation, and women's rights. She was well known for breaking barriers. Chisholm was the first Black person and woman to run for president. Her opponent was George Wallace. He was the face of Southern segregation. The importance of history. It is important for women to contribute to these fields because in the past, women did not have so many privileges like men did. They couldn't vote, run for office, etc. So now that they have privileges, they can contribute to these fields and finally have an opportunity to feel equal. Shirley Chisholm's actions can inspire other women and men that they can achieve their goals no matter what diversity they are or what obstacle stands in their way. What matters is that everybody has an opportunity to achieve their goals.
Biggest success of life. At the age of 37, Sarah invented a mixture that helped her hair to make curly to straight hair. At first, only Black women used to buy her hair products, but after some months, white women also started to buy those products. And to them, it works very well. For this reason, she started a new company named Madam C.J. Walker Manufacturing Company. Couple years later, her company was a successful company which was known as nationally. Biggest achievements. On the biggest achievements of Madam C.J. Walker was her first hair strengthening product and her first factory, which is known as the Madam C.J. Walker Manufacturing Company. On the right, there are two pictures. First one is the first company of Madam C.J. Walker, and the second one is the first product of Madam C.J. Walker. One famous quote of Madam C.J. Walker is that don't wait and sit for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them.
Problem skills. Amelia Earhart was an American pioneer and author. She was the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Amelia worked in her field to prove others that flying is safe and a woman can do these jobs too. Amelia Earhart's achievement was that she was the first female to fly a plane, and here is a picture of her right next to the plane. One great saying Amelia Earhart said was that adventure is worthwhile in itself.
To love it. The amazing things she did, not to brag, but she won the 1978 Honda Award for basketball, the 1978 Honda Borderic Cup, and and she became the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 1985. LeBron James has absolutely nothing on her. She was the Anthony Davis of her time. Mm-hmm. A quote from her is, never give up if you really want something. Life is easy. If you want something, go get it. That trouble on the way to greatness. What did she face? She had to face a lot of sexism. Well, let me put it like this. Women were not really respected that much at that time. So a woman to sign a free agent contract to the Pacers, a lot of men found that as a disgrace to basketball, and most teams were not really that happy about it. That's why she wasn't really allowed to play on the team. But she was the first woman to sign a free agent contract. Why is this so important? Without her, women won't get as much recognition in sport as they do today. I think more women should stand up and say, hey, just because I'm a girl does not mean I cannot be good at sports.
This shows when Serena Williams got a medal, her gold medal. So this is about her awards. In 2003, she got a NAACP Imagine Award. In 2004, she got the Glamour Award. In 2007, she got the Laris World Sports Award. She also in 2002 and 2009, she got Press Female Athlete of the Year, and in 2017, 2018, and 2019, she got the BET Award for Sportswoman of the Year. This is a quote that she said. She said, "Tennis is just a game. Family is forever." And this is a picture of her whole family. Things that she had to overcome was something Serena Williams had to overcome was being a Black woman in a predominantly white sport. So tennis was a white sport. So that was something that she had to overcome.
Helen Keller's meaning. Helen was a person that showed that disabilities doesn't stop you from doing what you are willing to do. Her achievements was she was the first deaf and blind person to earn a bachelor's degree. She was a leader member of the American Foundation for the Blind, and she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1964. Her famous quote was, "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart," by Helen Keller. Her obstacle was being deaf and blind was a big obstacle for her because it was hard for her to do anything she wanted to. It was also a little bit scary for Helen. Helen Keller's inspirational achievements. It's important for women to contribute to these fields because it shows that women aren't afraid to push their limits and to be confident. It also shows that when there's obstacles in their way, they overcome them. Helen Keller's actions inspires me because the fact she got deaf and blind at the age of 2 and could still reach her goals to the fullest amazes me. She rose to become a major 20th century human, humanitarian, educator, and writer, and that just shows me that if you really want to do something in life, you have to keep pushing forward until you reach your goals.
Whitney Houston won the Grammy Hall of Fame. Guinness World Records listed Whitney Houston as the most honored female singer of all time. She was the first female artist. She was the first artist to have 7 consecutive #1 hits and the first woman to enter the Billboard 200 at her #1 with her album and picture. A quote by Whitney Houston is, "I like being a woman even in a man's world. After all, men can't wear dresses but we can wear pants. This means that men can do what women can do what men do and more." Giving a woman equal opportunities to pursue and thrive in STEM careers helps narrow the gender pay gap, enhances women's economic security, ensures a diverse and talented STEM workforce. It also prevents biases in these fields and products and services they produce.
Presenting the phenomenal Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou was an American poet, memoirist, and civil rights activist. She published 7 books, autobiographies, 3 books of essays, several books of poetry, and is credited with a list of plays, movies, and television shows spanning over 50 years. She received dozens of awards and more than 50 honorary degrees. A positive impact. Maya Angelou's contribute to the world. Why did this woman decide to work in this field? Maya Angelou decided to work in this field because of her love for for performing and dancing. Achievements and goals. What are some of her achievements? Maya Angelou achieved many things in life, such as 7 autobiographies, 3 books of essays, several books of poetry, and is credited with a list of poets and plays and stuff. What were some of her achievements? These are pictures of when she was reading out poets at different places, and this is one of her most famous books, but the picture is blurred out, kind of. If you were trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be, said Maya Angelou, one of her most famous quotes.
The symbol of America, aka Jackie Kennedy, is which she probably may be known for 3 things. One of the things that she's definitely known of is her being an author. She did write a lot of books, and her husband JFK was the 35th president of the United States of America, but unfortunately he was assassinated. He was assassinated right in front of her, which wasn't the so the woman that matches the title is Jackie Kennedy, not for what she did, of what happened to her. It wasn't easy, but she did recover.
Why did Mary decide to be a scientist? Why did this woman decide to work in this field? Mary Curie decided this field because it was what she liked and was she interested in. Mary Curie's achievements. Some achievements are the Nobel Prize in Physics, Nobel Prize in Chemistry, John Scott Legacy Medal and Premium, Maddie Chewy Medal, Avery Medal, and etc. The picture, these are one of the achievements right here. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. By Mary Curie.
The reason she decided to work in this field is to change things for the better and to make a difference with everything going on back then. I'm sure a lot of people wanted to as well, mostly blacks. Standing up for black people's rights and boycotting racist service and getting arrested for it. She was really just not giving up. She would even go to jail for her beliefs because she believed that what was happening in the world was wrong. She said, on standing up for oneself, stand for something or you will fall for anything. Today's mighty oak is yesterday's nut that held its ground. That's basically telling you to stand your ground and fight for what you believe in, no matter how many people push you down.
If you want to know more about one of these amazing women that these students presented about, you can view the entire presentation from each of our awesome presenters on our website underneath the Student tab where it says Women's History Month. Also making history, this past Monday, Rochelle and Renantha got to present an original poem at the COVID-19 Day of Remembrance, one-year memorial with NYC's diplomatic community for the world. Check it out.
Thank you so much. Now it is my pleasure to hand the floor over to two junior ambassadors. I am going to take a moment to share a little bit about our junior ambassador program, which we launched in 2015, but it was really at the heart of how we can connect our diplomatic corps to our young people, to our New Yorkers throughout the 5 boroughs. It's really focused on the 12 to 13-year age group, and we really encourage young people from around the 5 boroughs to learn about the Sustainable Development Goals, to engage with the UN, to meet ambassadors, but at the end of the day, really understand that they are part of these global collective movements for action. But the most important thing that they can do is activate at home. So we have SDG 14, Life Underwater, junior ambassador activists, and they're focused on cleaning up the South Bronx River, and that's really, I think, how these young people are going to right now become get themselves ready to be global ambassadors when they get a little bit older. And so we are full of talent within our junior ambassador pool, and today it's my pleasure to have 2 of them who are young poets that wrote a special piece for us this morning, and it really is such a pleasure to introduce Renantha Wishart and Rochelle Joseph, who are going to inspire us today with their spoken word. Welcome, ladies. The floor is yours.
We're so happy to be here.
Okay. 2020 came like a surprise. We all hoped for the best, but then that dream died. A wave of sadness and anger came crashing down like a tsunami.
As the ones we love were taken hostage by the tyrant virus. Day by day, every hour on the hour, lives got taken, and each day became more and more lonely.
So as we speak today, we would like to honor those who have helped us through the past year, while also honoring those who could not have been here. This pandemic has affected us in ways that are ineffable, but through it all, we worked in ways that are exceptional. We've made adjustments like never before as we lost jobs along with our hope and things became hard to afford.
We sat at home becoming mentally and physically distant, and unfortunately, our social lives became non-existent. Kitchen tables became school desks, and our peers became computer screens, as we watched our society and economy fall apart in quarantine.
But as the anniversary of the first lockdown arrives, we would like to be appreciative that we are still currently alive. Our new normal is becoming more comfortable and each day is brighter than before. As vaccines roll in, so does our hope.
To the opening of a new door, we find ourselves doing more.
Taking that climb to return to schools and making businesses flourish too.
So on this momentous day,
let's remember all that we lost and use that struggle to become stronger as a community.
And be grateful that we pushed through our adversities,
so that we may commemorate in unity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies. That was perfect for today. Thank you.
And that's it for today's town hall video. I want to give another shout out to all of the students who had work selected to be shared with all of us today. Thank you for diving into Women's History Month and letting us know a little bit about somebody that we might not have known about before. And shout out to your teachers, Miss Gaines, Miss Jean, and Miss Tanagrain for supporting you and getting those projects done and sharing with us. I want to remind everyone that there is Saturday Academy tomorrow, so you can join via the Zoom link posted in Google Classroom. If you have not filled out a permission slip, you can do so in Operu. Your parents can do so in Operu. And lastly, for those 8th grade students who are fully remote, you may come tomorrow between 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock to the building as per the email that was sent out to pick up your senior hoodies. The students that are in person will receive theirs on Monday. Again, if you are fully remote in an 8th grade, you can come tomorrow. If there's anything else that you need or if you have any questions, feel free to email. Otherwise, have a wonderful day and be safe. Don't forget you can join us as well, 5th period today for our No One Eats Alone lunch. That link is also posted in the Google Classroom. And today's theme is Superhero Kahoot. So we're going to bring our trivia and our knowledge. So you got to bring it because, you know, I'm a nerd. I know things. All right. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be well.